to the Sacred Wilds Book Club. As we continue the dive into the Celestine Prophecy, what an epic story this has been. I wouldn't even
Right?
call this a story. Like, this is
Therapy. I fucking so dug your guys' conversation in the
it was
last
a
one.
therapy session last week,
Yeah. Let's deconstruct our control methods there.
right? And then to do it, yeah. And then Stacy and I are perfect for that kind of conversation. It was
Yeah.
on time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. So we're at 139 at the I woke up with Will on my mind. I wanted to ask Father Carl what else he knew of Will's plans. As I lay there thinking, still zipped in the sleeping bag, Father Carl walked into the room quietly and began rebuilding the fire. I unzipped the bag and he looked over at me, alerted by the sound. Good morning, he said. How did you sleep? Okay, I replied, standing. He put fresh kindling on the coals and then a larger pieces of firewood. What did Will say he was going to do? I asked. Father Carl stood and faced me. He said he was going to a friend's house to wait for some information he expected. Apparently, information about the ninth insight. What else did he say? I asked. Will told me that he thought Father Sebastian intended to find the last insight himself and seemed to be close. Will thinks that the person who controls the last insight will determine whether the manuscript ever becomes widely distributed and understood. Why? I'm not really sure. Will was one of the first to ever collect and read the insights. He may understand them better than any man alive. He feels, I think, that the last insight will make all the others become more clear and accepted. Do you think he's right? I asked. I don't know, he replied. I don't understand as much as he does. All I understand is what I'm supposed to do. What is that? He paused momentarily, then replied, as I said before, my truth is to help people discover who they really are. When I read the manuscript, this mission became very clear to me. The sixth insight is my special insight. My truth is helping others grasp this insight. And I'm effective because I've gone through the process myself. What was your control drama? I asked. He looked at me with amusement. I was an interrogator. You controlled people by finding something wrong with the way they live their lives? That's right. My father was poor me and my mother was aloof. They completely ignored me. The only way I could get any attention energy was to pry into what they were doing and then point out something wrong with it. And when did you work through this drama? About 18 months ago, when I met Father Sanchez and began to study the manuscript. After I really looked at my parents, I realized what my experience with them was preparing me to do. You see, my father stood for accomplishment. He was very goal orientated. He planned his time to the minute and judged himself according to how much he got done. My mother was very intuitive and mystical. She believed that each of us received spiritual guidance and that life was about following this direction. What did your father think about that? He thought it was crazy. I smiled but said nothing. Can you see where that left me? Father Carl asked. I shook my head. I couldn't quite grasp it. Because of my father, he said, I was sensitized to the idea that life was about accomplishment, having something important to do and getting it done. But at the time, my mother was there to tell me life was about inner direction and intuitive guidance of some sort. I realized that my life was a synthesis of both viewpoints. I was trying to discover how we are guiding inwardly toward the mission only we can do, knowing it is of supreme importance to pursue the mission if we are to feel happy and fulfilled. I nodded, and he continued, you can see why I was excited about the sixth insight. As I stood and as soon as I read it, I knew that my work was to help people get clear so that they could develop this sense of purpose. Do you know how Will got on this path he is on the path he is on? Yes, he shared some of this information with me. Will's drama was to be aloof, like yours. Also, as in your case, each of his parents were an interrogator, and each had a strong philosophy they wanted Will to adopt. Will's father was a German novelist who argued that the ultimate destiny of the human race was to perfect itself. His father never advocated anything but the pursuit of humanitarian principles, but the Nazis used his basic idea of perfection to help legitimize their murderous liquidation of what were falsely claimed to be inferior races. The corruption of this theme destroyed the old man and led him to South America with his wife and Will. His wife was a Peruvian who grew up in America and was educated there. She was a writer too, but she was basically Eastern in her philosophical beliefs. She held that life was about reaching an inner enlightenment, a higher consciousness marked by peace of mind and detachment from the things of the world. According to her, life was not about perfection. It was about letting go of the need to perfect anything, to go anywhere. Can you see where this left Will? My head shook. He was left, Father Carl continued, in a difficult position. His father championed the Western idea of working for progress and perfection, and his mother held the Eastern belief that life was only about reaching inner peace, nothing else. And I'll pass.
Interesting. So the phrase that comes to my mind at that spot is inner peace for world peace.
Right.
It's
You're shifting.
it's it's fascinating though. Like I was trying to deconstruct, like I didn't really know my father. So it was really hard to kind of pinpoint that. But my mom, like if she were to be in a healthy space, would stand for the empowerment of women and the alleviating of women's suffrage and just the independence and liberation of women. And ta-da. And then with my dad and my stepdad, like my stepdad anyhow, like he was like as structured as you can get, fucking military, cans in the cabinet alphabetized and sorted by size and all of that, and then you get my Gen Virgo brain. And so like being able to put those two together
Right.
and I again could never have pictured this or created this. Anywho, okay.
Yeah, it's an interesting when you start diving into that concept and then trying to label. Well, the last few pages before we got to what we're reading tonight got into detail into some of those. So it's hard for Anthony, but the concept is it was hard for me to identify my parents.
Yeah.
I, they were definitely, my dad was definitely like an interrogator, and I mean, I don't know, it was interesting trying to figure that out. I don't think I
Well,
really put a finger on it.
so essentially what I was talking about before we jumped back in is that we have 4 different control dramas that we fall into depending on what our parents had. So there's the intimidator, that's, the person who will create fear for your life in you. Then you have the interrogator, the person who picks apart your life and finds something that's wrong with it. Then you have the aloof, which is you only give little pieces of information, you don't share the whole story, you kind of stay away, and then you have the poor me, the victim mentality. And it says that the interrogator creates aloofness, which makes sense. Just picking, poking, prodding, asking questions, you're not going to want to answer them. Mm-hmm. And then the interrogator creates the poor me, right? And so, yeah, I had I guess my biological father would have been like the king of aloofness since he just pieced out. And then my mom and my stepdad were intimidators for sure. But I was also reflecting on how I've flowed through all 4 of those cycles in my life. Like I've been the intimidator, mm-hmm. I've been the interrogator, I've been the aloof one, and I've been the poor me, right?
That's something that yeah, I've been them all. And I think they talk about that in last week's read too. because it kind of brought up the concept in Alcoholics Anonymous says it too. Like, we play all these roles. We
Yeah.
just whenever needed, it's like that chameleon. We're like what Sheena was talking about, that chameleon,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And that's, in Terry Real's theory and research, he calls that the adoptive child, right? And it's the child who adapted to the situation that they were in order to keep themselves safe, right? And that adaptive child doesn't realize that they are safe now, that the outside triggers, I just really like the word adaptive child more than wounded inner child or even trauma. So I've really been adopting that because that sounds a lot less abrasive.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Where were we? I got lost.
These two people.
Oh, inner peace. Found it. Okay. These two people had prepared Will to work on integrating the main philosophical differences between Eastern and Western culture, although he didn't know it at first. He first became an engineer dedicated to progress and then a simple guide who sought peace by bringing people to the beautiful, inwardly moving places in this country. But searching out the manuscript awakened all this in him. The insights speak directly to his main question. They reveal that he thought of both East and West can indeed be integrated into a higher truth. They show us that the West is correct in maintaining that life is about progress, about evolving towards something greater, yet the East is also correct in emphasizing that we must let go of control with the ego. We can't progress by using logic alone. We have to attain a fuller consciousness and interconnection with God, because only then can our evolution towards something better be guided by a higher part of ourselves. Whoa, East and West, masculine and feminine. Holy moly, dots connecting. Okay. What?
Yeah, no, I'm just chuckling because it's been a
Oh,
perfect dynamic for me. Like I spent the first half of my life buried in Christianity, the second half of my life buried in Eastern philosophy, and now here we go. You know what I mean?
ta-da!
Balanced as all fuck. You know what I mean?
Right?
Not knowing what to do with that balance, but
Yeah,
I'm very aware that I'm balanced. So it's
right.
a neat structure.
Yeah. Ash was asking me last night. She's like, so are you kind of like a Buddhist mom? And I was like, I don't really claim labels, and I explained it to her because we spent that one night just exploring all the different labels for sexualities and gender identifications and things like that. I was like, you remember that night we were like, oh, that's me, and oh, that's me, and that's me. I was like, it's kind of like how I am with religion or spirituality. And I was like, I live a lot like a Buddhist. I pray like a Christian. I work spells like a witch.
That
And she's like, you're so cool, mom. I'm like, I know.
That's how I met my last sponsor was in a meeting. He announced himself as a Buddhist Christian that loved the Tao. And I'm like, dude, you're my fucking sponsor.
You're my people. Right? When Will began to discover the insights, his whole life began to flow. He met Jose, the priest who first found the manuscript and had it translated. Soon after that, he met the owner of Vicente and helped start the research there. And at about the same time, he met Julia, who was in business, but was also guiding people to the virgin forests. It was with Julia that Will had the most affinity. They hit it off immediately because of the similarity in the questions they pursued. Julia grew up with a father who talked of spiritual ideas, but in a capricious and flaky way. Her mother, on the other hand, was a college speech teacher, a debater who demanded clear thinking. Naturally, Julia found herself wanting information about spirituality, but insisting that it be intelligible and precise. Will wanted a synthesis between East and West that explained human spirituality, and Julia wanted this explanation to be perfectly clear, something the manuscript was providing for both. Breakfast is ready, Sanchez called from the kitchen. I turned around, surprised. I didn't realize Sanchez was up. Without pursuing the conversation any further, Father Carl and I got up and joined Sanchez in a meal of fruit and cereal. Afterwards, Father Carl asked me to take a walk to the ruins with him. I agreed, wanting very much to go there again. Both of us looked at Father Sanchez and he gracefully declined, explaining that he needed to drive down the mountain and make some phone calls. Outside, the sky was crystal clear and the sun shone brightly over the peaks. We walked briskly. Do you think there is a way to contact Will? I asked. No, he replied. He did not tell me who his friends were. The only way would be to drive to Iquitos, a town near the northern border, and I think that might be unsafe right now. Why there? I asked. He said he thought his search would take him to this town. There are many ruins near there. Also, Cardinal Sebastian has a mission nearby. Do you think Will find the last insight? I don't know. We walked in silence for several minutes. Then Father Carl asked, have you made a decision about what course to take personally? What do you mean? Father Sanchez said you were talking at first about going immediately back to the United States, but that lately you seem to be more interested in exploring the insights. How are you feeling? Precarious, I said, but for some reason, I also want to continue. I understand a man was killed right beside you. That's right. And still you want to stay. No, I said, I want to get away, save my life, yet here I am. Why do you think that is? He asked. I scrutinized his expression. I don't know, do you? Do you remember where we left our conversation last night? I remembered exactly. We had discovered the question my parents left me with. To find a spirituality that is self-enhancing, that gives one a sense of adventure and fulfillment. And you said if I looked closely at how my life has evolved, this question would put my life in perspective and clear up what's happening to me now. He smiled mysteriously. Yes, according to the manuscript, it will. How does that occur? Each of us must look at the significant turns in our lives and reinterpret them in light of our evolutionary question. I shook my head, not comprehending. Try to perceive the sequence of interests, important friends, coincidences that have occurred in your life. Weren't they leading you somewhere? I thought about my life since childhood, but could find no pattern. How did you spend your time as you grew up? He asked. I don't know. I was a typical child, I guess. I read a lot. What did you read? Mystery stuff mostly, science fiction, ghost stories, that kind of thing. What happened in your life after that? I thought about the effect my grandfather had on me and told Father Carl about the lake and the mountains. He nodded his head knowingly. And after you grew up, what happened? I went away to college. My grandfather died while I was away. What did you study at college? Sociology. Why? I met a professor I liked. His knowledge of human nature interested me. I decided to study with him. What happened then? I graduated and went to work. Did you enjoy it? Yes, for a long time. Then things changed? I felt that what I was doing wasn't complete. I was working with emotionally disturbed adolescents, and I thought I knew how they could transcend their pasts and stop the acting out that was so self-defeating. I thought I could help them go on with their lives. I finally realized something was missing in my approach. Then what? I quit. And then an old friend called and told me of the manuscript. Is that when you decided to come to Peru? Yes. What do you think of your experience here? I think I'm crazy, I said. I think I'm going to get myself killed. But what do you think of the way your experience has progressed? I don't understand. When Father Sanchez told me that what had happened to you since coming to Peru, he said, I was amazed at the series of coincidences that brought you face to face with the different insights of the manuscript just when you needed them. What do you think that means? I asked. He stopped walking and faced me. It means you were ready. You are like the rest of us here. You came to the point where you needed the manuscript in order to continue your life evolution. Think about how the events of your life fit together. From the beginning, you were interested in mysterious topics, and that interest finally led you to study human nature. Why do you think you happened to meet that particular teacher? He crystallized your interests and led you into looking into the great mystery, the human situation on this planet, the question of what life is about. Then, at some level, you knew that life's meaning was connected to the problem of transcending our past conditioning and moving our lives forward. That's why you were working with those kids. With that, I'll pass. Do you want to read?
Sure. But as you But as you can understand now, it has taken the insights to clear up what was missing in your technique with those youths. In order for emotionally disturbed children to evolve, they have to do what we all have to do. Get connected with enough energy to see through their intense controlled drama, what you call acting out, and go forward in what turns out to be a spiritual process, a process you have been trying to understand all along. See the higher perspective on these events, all the interests that led you forward in your past, all the stages of growth. We're just preparing you to be here now, exploring the insights. You've been working on your evolutionary search for a self-enhancing spirituality throughout your entire life. And the energy you acquired from that natural spot where you grew up, an energy your grandfather was trying to show you, finally gave you the courage to come to Peru. You are here because this is where you need to be to continue the evolution. Your whole life has been a long road leading directly to this moment. Funny, I'm reading this paragraph. Anyway, he smiled. When you fully integrate this view of your life, you will have achieved what the manuscript calls a clear awareness of your spiritual path. According to the manuscript, we all must spend as much time as necessary going through this process of clearing your past. Most of us have control drama. We have to transcend, but once we do, we can comprehend the higher meaning for why we were born to our particular parents and what all the twists and turns of our lives were preparing us to do. We all have a spiritual purpose, a mission that we have been pursuing without being fully aware of it. And once we bring it completely into consciousness, our lives can take off. In your case, you've discovered the purpose. Now you must go forward, allowing the coincidences to lead you into clearer and clearer idea, into a clearer and clearer idea of how to pursue this mission from this point on. What else you must do here? Since you've been in Peru, you've been riding along Will's energy and Father Sanchez's, but now it's time to learn to evolve by yourself, consciously. He was about to tell me something more, but we were both distracted by the sight of Sanchez's truck racing up behind us. He pulled alongside and rolled down his window. What's wrong, Father Carl asked. I must return to the mission as soon as I can get packed, Sanchez said. Government troops are there. And Cardinal Sebastian? We both jumped into the truck, and Sanchez drove back toward Father Carl's house, telling us along the way that the troops were at his mission to confiscate all copies of the manuscript and possibly to close it down. We drove up to Father Carl's house and hurriedly walked inside. Father Sanchez immediately began to pack his belongings. I stood there deliberating on what to do. As I watched, Father Carl approached the other priests and said, I think I should go with you. Sanchez turned. Are you sure? Yes, I believe I should. For what purpose? I don't know yet. Sanchez started at him for a moment, then returned to packing. If you think that is best. I was leaning against the door frame. What should I do? I asked. Both men looked at me. That's up to you, Father Carl said. I just stared. You'll have to make the decision, Sanchez interjected. I couldn't believe they were so detached about my choice. To go with them meant certain capture by the Peruvian troops. Yet how could I stay here alone? Look, I said, I don't know what to do. You two must help me. Is there anyone else who can hide me? Both men looked at one another. I don't think so, Father Carl said. I looked at them, a knot of anxiety growing in my stomach. Father Carl smiled at me and said, stay centered. Remember who you are. Okay.
There. Stay centered and remember who you are.
Big statement.
Mm-hmm.
I got some catching up to do. This is
It's an epic book, dude.
yeah, you were both right.
Told you. Like, just that, I mean, stay centered and remember who you are. And that's the piece, right? like
Yeah,
with everything.
with everything.
When we get lost, when we get in our humanness, when we fucking get rageful, when we get angry, when we get grief stricken, when we get heartbroken, when we get blissful, when we
the other
get
side.
lost in ecstasy,
Yeah.
stay centered and remember who you are. Because, like, all of that, that's not who we are. All of those experiences are not who we are. It is an expression of an essence that we hold.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. It's crazy because I was having a conversation with Des last. They're getting crunchy, right? They're starting to battle a little bit. It's
Who?
getting harder and harder. Her and Leo,
Oh,
and
really?
she's questioning that. Actually, it came up yesterday with Bo. Fuck, but that statement you made about can I really give myself permission to be a full fuck yes in everything? Like,
Everything.
and what does fuck yes look like? Like,
Right.
that's what that remembering who you are is.
Yes. Like,
I
that
deserve
is
fuck
your
yes.
full fuck yes.
Yes.
That is your full fuck yes. And fuck yes, we deserve to live
Yeah.
a full fuck yes life in every
But
goddamn
every
aspect.
person that I have brought that to, that's a pause because nobody believes it. Nobody knows it to be true.
Right, because we don't live in a full fuck yes society.
Right.
That's not what we're
all
fucking
settle. We
taught. We're
all
taught to
settle in
fucking
that boat.
sacrifice our full fuck yes. That's how we become valuable.
Yep.
No, fuck that. My full fuck yes and my sacred fucking no are the most valuable tools in my goddamn life.
Yep.
And thank you for reminding me.
I'm sorry. No, we're good. We're
Welcome
good. Go
to
ahead.
the
Please
club.
continue.
And thank you when I called you before I had the conversation with Jeremy.
Yeah.
You
it's
said you were going
fascinating.
to feel more embodied afterwards. And holy fuck. Yeah, I felt embodied. I felt so goddamn embodied. I broke the fuck open and fell apart and died thousands of times over the last 4 goddamn days.
Yep.
Thousands of times. Like, I have not carried that much grief and processed that much grief in my body in so fucking long. But you know what? It was a full fuck yes. Right?
Well,
If it's
it goes
not,
back.
if,
It goes back to that 144 statement. No, I said, I want to get away and save my life. Yet,
Yet
here I
here
am.
Yes. Yet here I am.
Yet here I am.
That, like, if it's not a full fuck yes, then it's a sacred fucking no. End of story. That's it.
Yeah, and learning to embody that because that's going to be
Right.
right. Like that's
Right. And part of that practice is when you don't fully embody it, right? You hold yourself accountable to yourself and anybody involved.
right.
Right. That's how you practice it. We're not, it's a practice. It's a fucking practice. We're here learning this. We're not going to do it perfectly. If we fucking did it perfectly, it wouldn't be a goddamn thing.
We wouldn't be on this fucking journey.
Yeah.
It'd be game
Like, if I knew how to fucking embody love in its fullest fucking capacity, I would reach my essence of my fucking gene key purpose of invisibility. I wouldn't fucking be here. Oh my God, I'm so excited for you guys to get to the end of this book. Okay. Spoiler alert.
Sanchez walked over to a bag and pulled out a folder. This is the copy of the Sixth Insight, he said. Perhaps it'll help you decide what to do. As I look at the copy, Sanchez looked at Father Carl and asked, how long before you can leave? I'll need to contact some people, Father Carl said. Probably an hour. Sanchez looked at me. Read and think for a while, then we will talk. Both men returned to their preparations, and I walked outside and sat down on a large rock, then opened the manuscript. It echoed exactly the words of Father Sanchez and Father Carl, clearing the past with the precise process of becoming aware of our individual ways of controlling, learned in childhood. Once we could transcend this habit, it said, we would find our higher selves and evolutionary identities. I read the entire text in less than 30 minutes, and when I was finished, I finally understood the basic insight. Before we could fully enter the special state of mind that so many people were glimpsing, the experience of ourselves moving onward in life, guided by mysterious coincidences, we had to wake up who we really were. At that moment, Father Carl walked around the house, spotted me, and came to where I was standing. Have you finished? He asked. His manner was warm and friendly as usual. Yes. Do you mind if I sit here with you for a moment? I wish you would. He positioned himself to my right, and after a period of silence asked, "Do you understand that you're that you are on your path of discovery here?" I guess. But now what? Now you must really believe it.
That's all. You just gotta believe it. That's it. Tiny little, step.
How, when I feel this afraid? You must understand what is at stake. The truth of you, the truth you are pursuing is as important as the evolution of the universe itself, for
That's
it
it.
enables evolution to continue.
That's all.
No pressure.
No pressure. The fate of the fucking universe's evolution is on your shoulders. That's fucking it.
No
Right?
pressure.
Full fuck yes. Telling you.
Don't you see, Father Sanchez told me, of your vision of evolution on the ridgetop? You saw how matter evolved from a simple vibration of hydrogen all the way to humankind. You wondered how humans carried on this evolution. You have now discovered the answer. Humans are born into their historical situations and find something to stand for. They form a union with another human being who also found some purpose. The children born into this union then reconcile these two positions by pursuing a higher synthesis and guided by the coincidences. As I'm sure you learned in the fifth insight, each time we fill up with energy, a coincidence occurs that to lead us forward into our lives. We institute this level of energy in ourselves, and so we can exist at a higher vibration. Our children take our level of vibration and raise it even higher. This is how we, as humans, continue evolution. Holy fuck, this book is.
You're welcome. Let's see. Yeah. So our children.
Yeah.
Like,
No
that's
wonder
nice.
we're moving at such a fucking pace because
That's
every generation.
Yes, we're in exponential
There's more to this
growth. It
book.
is not 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4. It's 1 step, 2 step, 4 step, 16 step,
Yeah.
64 step. And that's the thing. That's why I fucking lost my shit the other day. That's why fucking stop killing the goddamn children. Can't everybody fucking see that our children are the fucking most precious? They're here to fucking save our lives because we don't know how the fuck to.
Right.
Stop killing the goddamn children.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh my
Okay.
God.
Where are we at? What are we doing? Is it my turn?
Okay, you want to continue the difference now?
The difference now. Oh, there it is. Okay. The difference now with this generation is that we are ready to do it consciously and to accelerate the process. No matter how afraid you become, you now have no choice. Once you learn what life is about, there is no way to erase the knowledge. If you try to do something else with your life, you will always sense that you're missing something, right? You can't fucking unsee what you see. You can't unlearn what you learn. You can't unknow what the fuck you know.
Well, yeah, you can. We're great at forgetting.
Oh, we're great at trying to forget. We're great at trying to forget with distractions and all of the non-full fuck yeses. But what do I do now? I don't know. Only you know that. But I suggest you first try to gain some energy. Father Sanchez rounded the corner of the house and joined us, carefully avoiding eye contact or noise as if he desired not to interrupt. I tried to center myself and to focus on the rock peaks that encircled the house. I took a deep breath and I realized that I had been totally self-absorbed since coming outside, as if I had tunnel vision. I had cut myself off from the beauty and majesty of the mountains. As I gazed out at the surroundings, consciously trying to appreciate what I was seeing, I began to experience that now familiar feeling of closeness. Suddenly, everything seemed to exhibit more presence and to glow slightly. I began to feel lighter, my body more buoyant. I looked at Father Sanchez and then at Father Carl. They were gazing intensely at me, and I could tell they were observing my energy. "How do I look?" I asked. "You look as if you feel better," Sanchez said. Stay here and increase your energy as much as possible. We have about 20 more minutes of packing. He smiled wryly. After that, he continued, you will be ready to begin.
Hmm.
I feel like that is a beautiful place to stop and perhaps have some more conversation.
What the fuck, man? I can't help but, I mean, this is divinely inspired. Like, this is not a fucking a fiction story.
I know. And yet it's the same story told over and over in thousands of different words and languages and ways, with different characters, with different storylines, with different names, with a different articulation.
Well, and like we were reading, or like you said, Anthony, no wonder I'm reading this paragraph. Like, no wonder I showed up for this book. Like, I'm not kidding you. This book, it has sat on my shelf for a decade. I haven't read it. I don't know why.
We're meant to, divine timing. Like
Except the
divine
hard-
timing, everything is divinely timed. It is simply our awareness of that divine timing that fades in and out.
Right.
That's it.
The remembering.
Everything is here for us, all of it. Our awareness of it, our perception of it, our acceptance of it, that's another story.
Mm.
Like, that's the practice.
Yeah.
That's the intention behind the full fuck yes.
love
Full fuck yes. Fuck yes. I deserve to have everything that I need. Fuck yes. I deserve to fucking be able to drive up to Prescott once or twice a week for work and get paid for it.
Right.
Like, fuck yes. I deserve to have amazing goddamn people in my life. You know,
Right.
it's, I get to be me. Like, being me is no longer a goddamn punishment.
Hmm.
It's not. It was for a long fucking time.
It's
And I'm still
such
me.
balance in, because I have felt your posts lately. You know what I mean? And so there's a fuck yes, fuck yes, fuck yes. But then there's that immediate ugh. But if not for me, then for who? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
how do I get all this and you don't? And then comes that
Who
that
says though? Who says that maybe you're keeping that person from getting their full fuck yes by not following yours?
well, I just mean that on the grand scale, on all the shit that's going on in the world, on the on
Yeah. And that's the fucking hard part. That's what me and E, like, she called and she had been like just on fucking Instagram and all of that all day, just watching the videos and doing the things, and she fucking overloaded herself and shocked her system into fucking like, what the fuck do I do? I don't fucking know. I don't know. What do? You take your next breath.
yeah.
What do? You stop and take a pause before you fucking go off on your mom. What do you fucking do? You recenter yourself and you learn how to fucking love yourself, because if you don't learn how to fucking love yourself, then none of it matters,
Right.
because then you're just perpetuating the goddamn problem. Like, and it feels like such a small goddamn thing. Like, oh, look at Jen. She's like loving her life and doing all the things and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And I'm also fucking crying and screaming at what's fucking going on in the world and trying to convince myself that this is the path that I meant to fucking follow, is to embody the goddamn change that I want to see and stop advocating for it and talking about it. Like, fucking be it.
Right.
And to be ecstatic and blissful and in my goddamn orgasm while the world is crumbling and children are dying and people are being tortured and abused and violated is so goddamn hard.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like it, yeah. I mean, like today in this house, I'm in this fucking disgusting house. This poor guy. I don't even know how they live this way. And then there's a dude living in a little teardrop fucking RV, you know, those little like
Yeah. They're like,
4 foot by 2
yeah,
foot
yeah,
RVs.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a dude living in that outside of a house that is outside. Everything in that house that I'm working on is in the yard. There's a dog in the backyard that I fell in love with, and you can't see the ground in the backyard. The poor dog lives in that mess. You know, and this is just on a local fucking level.
Yeah.
That's luxury
Yeah.
in half of this world right now.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's luxury in half of Phoenix right now. I drive around down by Indian School and Thomas and 33rd Avenue for work every day, and the population of homeless and the comfort, they have set up camps all over the streets over there.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, it kills me. I don't know how to feel. Like there's no fixing this. There's no solution to this. And I just get a love and what, build my life up? Like it's insanity.
It fucking is. And then can we expand our perception out far enough? Can we step away and step out of the chaos and atrocities that are happening and we're witnessing and we're experiencing? Take a moment and remember that we chose this.
Hmm.
We chose this life. We chose to come here and do exactly what we're doing. Every one of us.
Hmm.
The ones who are bombing and the ones who are getting bombed. Can we allow ourselves to drop our ego and expand outside of ourselves far enough to maybe see that we're not wrong? Can we let go of our not good enough and see the divinity in all of it? Can we allow ourselves for just a moment to believe that we are not bad? This is where we keep perpetuating the cycle. This is where we keep in that constant trauma bond, trauma response with each other and with this world. Is this right and wrong? Meet me in the place where right and wrong can't exist. And we can all just be. And then maybe we can stop fighting each other over who's right and wrong. Maybe the fighting will stop if we let go of all of these egoic pieces that I need to be safe. Can I allow you to be right without me having to be wrong? Can I allow myself to win without requiring you to lose in order for that to happen? Can we live in a world where everybody fucking succeeds? Can we live in a world that we don't constantly think needs to be fixed because it's broken? There's enough brokenness here without us layering our own perceptions of brokenness onto it. Mm.
Hmm.
The end. Ta-da.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And the answer is fuck yes.
Full fuck yes, my friends.
Full fuck
All
yes.
comes back around to the full fuck yes.
Right?
And the sacred fucking no.
Hmm. I love my life.
I fucking love my life too, man. Like, this gets to be my Wednesday night.
Fucking dude, it was so cute to see the little kids tonight. We did a full rehearsal tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 3 years old. Fucking
Oh, the children. I love the
it
children
just
so much.
blows my heart open to watch Des because she choreographed the whole thing. And I mean,
Yeah.
I saw moments where her hair was getting pulled out, you know, but to watch her just,
She's fucking magic.
she's a magical woman, man.
Yes.
She really is. It's so cool to be a part of this, just watching her. Like, that's been my favorite part, is
I
watching her.
missed her so goddamn much. She was like, when can I see you? I was like, I don't know. We're so busy being liberated, empowered women. God damn it.
You'll see her on Saturday.
I know. That was our first plan. And then I was like, ah. And then both of you guys for New Year's, I know you have a thing, but I'm doing a burning bowl ceremony. It's just me and the kids. Well, maybe not the kids, maybe just me, but all of you guys are all invited, kids too, if you wanted to bring in the new year, letting it all burn. Letting it all
It
burn.
does sound fun. I need to be at the bar until midnight, but we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah. Yeah, I might do, if it's gonna just be me, I might actually go into medicine.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, fucking Changa is calling to me. scary.
I told you I got that toad lined up. I'm gonna do toad in January. At least
Fucking A, dude.
I'm saying that. I'm still trying to convince
Yeah.
myself this, so I'm not
Don't convince.
gonna
Go fuck
force
yes,
myself. I've been preparing for this and it's in front of me, but I'm scared to death. I want to do it.
dude. Fucking like the last Changa ceremony I had, like literally ripped me apart. I dissolutioned myself into nothing. I was nothing, and
Yeah.
all of it, and holy shit. And to be called to that again. Also Wachuma, that's been calling me for a while, but I'm waiting for my teacher.
Yeah,
But-
I think I want to get you to. I want to introduce you. If we'll see if it's aligned, get you introduced to Kate because she also does ayahuasca ceremonies.
Oh yes, and I'm being called back to the mother. This year has been, I
Yeah.
like took off from festivals. I took off from doing like deep medicine work. I did my Changa ceremonies, but I haven't been with the mother in a long time, and she's calling me like I fucking miss her.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, it's coming. I'll get you hooked up. What is her thing? I have her card in the van.
Okay.
Sacred something. Yeah, I don't recall. Right on. What a fucking book club, man. What a night.
Right? Like yeah, sacred wild style, baby.
I'm glad you got a taste of it, Anthony.
Bro, holy fuck. Like,
Back up, back
because
up.
last time I heard it, I wasn't really like, divine timing. I wasn't really here for
Ready
it.
to
And
hear
then
it.
like that paragraph, I'm like, fuck, bro, brought you to exactly where you need to be. And why did I read that paragraph? Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Right?
And I wasn't even planning on coming like this early. Like I was gonna come until after book club, and I was just like, nope, I'm going over right now. And then, wow, fucking, you got an extra copy, bro?
I
I'm
might
kidding.
actually.
I'm kidding.
I
I'm
might.
kidding. I'm sure
in my
it's.
garage.
I can get it on Amazon.
Amazon, yeah. 2 days.
2 days.
I have a debit card. I still can't order nothing. It's killing me.
Tell me what you need to order and I'll order it for you and you can just tell me money. Or I fucking owe you a ton of money right now. Like just tell me what you need and I'll get it for you. Shoot me the link and I'll order it on my Amazon.
Everything else comes up. I just did Stace just did my fucking costume for New Year's, so I hate
Gotcha.
doing this. It's killing me. Whatever.
Oh, and we're gonna be doing, does Sunday still work for
Yeah,
water?
let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna be doing the Sunday service from Sedona.
Yeah, from the
'Cause we
stupa.
gotta fill up our water at the stupa. Oh, this magical fucking life, man. Mm.
Fun. That'll be fun. Get our water.
I heard about the well, bro. I heard about the well. It sounds awesome.
And it's so
Amazing.
stupid. It's right there. Like
It's right there.
there's a spigot on the side of the road that's running. That
I
never
was
shuts
telling
off.
Deja about that too. She's like, that's got to be hard hiking all the way back with the jugs of water. I was like, no, literally, my car is where the door is,
Yep.
and the fucking water is right here. And she's like, what? I'm like, yes. Why isn't everybody doing this? Like the fucking.
Well, you've only
project.
been once. Did you have to wait?
No, well, no, because it was a little later. There is nobody there, and it's fucking cold.
I've waited a few times, but
Yeah.
not every time. If I go early,
Yeah, but everybody that goes there is fucking awesome. I had some of
Epic.
the most badass conversations with the most awesome people because only
Yep.
awesome people get water from.
right, right, and they're from all over the state too. I've talked to people from Tucson. I've talked to people from all over.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
You fucking kidding me?
No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's
Bro,
amazing.
I just put brakes on my truck. Let's
Let's
go,
do it.
bro.
We're going Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us. It's been an awesome read. We will meet next Wednesday. I will be out of town the following Wednesday in Mexico, so I don't know if I'll be on that week.
Mhm. I'll be available every Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I might be able to get into
I'll
town.
just do it from the beach, you know.
Right. I might be able to do it from Kino. I'll have to go into town, but I might be able to do it in town.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'll try to make it. Right
Yeah.
on. Love you guys.
Divine timing,
Right.
you know.
Have a good
All
evening.
right. You too.
Love you.
Bye, everybody.